Hello and welcome, child of God. Happy Sunday. I hope you had a good one in church today and that you were blessed by the praise and worship, by the sermon. For me, child of God, I was just reflecting on the story of Job's wife, and I began to ask myself, most times when we read about the story of Job and all his travails, all that he went through, we tend to condemn the wife. We tend to see the wife as a bad example. But tell me, let's be honest, let's be humane. Look at it from a human perspective. Which mother, which woman would not react, maybe even worse than the way Job's wife did? The only time she was mentioned in the Bible for saying the only time she was mentioned is when she said that Job should curse God and die. If you try to analyze the situation a little bit, this is a woman that had seen her life being accomplished. She was living a good life. Her husband was one of the well-to-do men in the city. Her husband was rich. He had a lot of cattle. He had animals. He was considered as a respectable man. Beyond that, she was a mother of 7 children. And imagine losing everything in one day. Now, she had borne 7 pregnancies and losing all these children, not even one was left to come back and tell her the story. There was no consolation. And then she saw the only man that she had ever known, her husband, losing himself, being sick, becoming a shadow of himself, tearing his clothes, wearing ashes and crying to God and all of that. It will bring out the worst part of you. It will make you to reflect. It will make you to ask yourself questions. So for me, I want to believe that when she told her husband, curse God and die, she did not mean that her husband should reject God. She did not mean that God was being bad or mean to them. She was just expressing the human side of her and asking her husband, what is the essence of continuous serving God if all of this should happen under his watch? How do we call ourselves Christians when the Lord still allowed us to go through all of this? So I will not condemn her, because as a mother, sometimes you might even react worse than what she did, even if it was just one child. But imagine 7 of her children. This was her future. This was her life. This was a woman that had already, she was thinking that she had already achieved her goals, her objectives. She was already looking at a brighter future, maybe looking at grandchildren already, because her children were all grown. If they were having parties, it means they were grown-ups. And she lost everything in one day. So while we go ahead to condemn her for her reaction, let's also look at that human factor. And mind you, the Lord never rebuked that woman. The Bible even tells us that Job himself, he questioned God. He asked God several questions. But the Lord said, in all this, Job sinned not. If God can still say that in all his tribulations and trials, Job did not sin, why should you condemn his wife? Why should I condemn his wife? Would you not do worse than what she did? Job, the Lord understands. And the Bible tells us that after Job prayed for his friends, the Lord gave him twice as much as he had before. This tells you and I that God was in charge of what was going on. The Lord did not destroy that woman. The Lord did not take her life away. The Lord did not make her to go to be handicapped or allow anything bad to happen to her. The Lord did not rebuke her for reacting that way. It does not mean that when we are going through trials, we should say whatever. But it tells us that the Lord understands. That's why you and I can be judging somebody for reacting the way they react. It is not a sin to question God. It is not a bad thing to ask God questions. But how do you do it? Do you still believe in God? Do you still maintain your faith in the Lord? Or do you completely throw him away? The reaction of Job was, shall we receive good from the hand of the Lord, and shall we not receive evil? The husband understood that the woman was frustrated. Imagine a woman watching her husband becoming something that she had never seen. The man, not only did he lose his everything that he had that made him a man, he was also sick, his health affected, and he completely lost everything. But the Lord was with him in that situation. So I say it again, that while we condemn Job's wife, let's not forget, child of God, that God sees, that God understands, that there are times when you might be at your wit's end and God is seeing that weakness. He hears your silent cries. Some of us, we might not say our own openly. We might hide it. We might go and cry in the closet. But those who say it openly, don't condemn them, for God is the judge of us all. God bless you. Have a wonderful one. Shalom.